I'm Brooks Compton. I'm mayor of the city of Centerville. I was elected in 2015, started serving on January 1 of 2016 as mayor. I'd served as council a couple different terms. I was elected in '83, served from '84 through '87, and then served again from 2004 until I was elected mayor in 2015. Well, we've lived here in Centerville since 1979. My wife and I, Ruth, we were married 41 years ago. My older son, Chris, and my daughter-in-law, Jamie, live here in Centerville with our 3 grandchildren. And my younger son, Brett, lives in the Raleigh, North Carolina area and works in Raleigh. We live in the Rose Estates area. We first came to Centerville and lived in Revere Village for a couple years, and that's when we fell in love with Centerville and decided to make sure that we stayed in Centerville. I've been an attorney for 40 years, and I went to Ohio Northern University and received my Juris Doctor at Ohio Northern in Ada, Ohio. I have an office in Kettering. I also have another family business that is located here in the city of Centerville, which we have with good family friends. I ran for office initially, was living in Revere Village at the time, and there were a number of cars over here at the City Hall, which is right across the street from Revere Village, and I just thought, well, we didn't have any kids at that time, so I walked across the street. It was an interesting night. They had a lot of items on the agenda, really enjoyed it. Thought, boy, that'd be interesting to get involved. Put in an application to be on the Board of Architectural Review. I was accepted, really enjoyed that. Became much more interested in what was going on in the city of Centerville and saw that the council played a big part in what activities would take place, the zoning that was taking place at that time. There was a lot of activity, and I thought I'd really enjoy being involved. I thought we're going to live here, we love it here, so I'd like to be a part of it and help shape the future of Centerville. There's a lot of things I love about the city of Centerville. First, we've lived here for 40 years. We fell in love with it when we lived across the street at Revere Village. Thought this is definitely the place I want to live. So what have I loved about it since we've been here? Great schools. We've had excellent, from the standpoint of development, economic development, residential development. It's been coordinated, really a good concept, a plan that's been put in place, and I'm glad to be part of that and all the amenities that are available here, and in particular the fact that it's just very good people that live in the city of Centerville who are very active in their community, active in the schools. Really enjoy it.
My name is Mark Ingert, and I've been on council since 2015. I'm from Columbus, Ohio originally, went to school at St. Francis de Sales, met my wife, moved to the Dayton area, been living in Centerville for 20 plus years. I have 2 girls, both graduated from the Ohio University. Both of them are currently employed, which is good. And my wife of 30 years, Denise, she's been teaching in the city of Centerville for 32 years. I am a logistics guy. I've been in logistics my whole career, started at UPS and am currently with logistics for Stryker Orthopedics, delivering artificial knees and hips. I decided to run because there was a little bit of controversy about a development that was going to go in behind our neighborhood, Pleasant Hill. The neighborhood wanted a voice in council, and everybody urged me to run, and at the last minute I turned in my ballot, and the rest of they say is history, 22 votes later. You know, I tell everybody, I live on the greatest street, in the greatest city, in the greatest state, in the greatest country in the world. And that's what I want. I want to preserve that feeling for the next Ingert family that comes into Centerville. I love this place, so that's why I'm here.
I'm Belinda Kenley. I've lived in this area my whole life. I have a family. Robert is my husband, and my daughter Emily started out her career here in Centerville as a teacher at PVN. I worked full-time then for Energy Optimizers USA. We're an energy savings company, and we work mostly with local governments and schools to help with energy savings. I love the city of Centerville. Robert and I have lived in this community about 30 years, and I love the shops, the restaurants, and the local businesses. We have some really unique businesses in our city. especially in the uptown Centerville area, like the boutiques that are there, the shops at Cross Point, Cornerstone, and many other businesses in our city. And there's such a passion about wanting to be successful, and I love visiting our business owners. I've been on City Council since 2008 and have been Deputy Mayor for the past 4 years. And I love the direction that the city is taking with our strategic plan. I look forward to seeing us continuing that progress, maintaining stability, being a strong, economically driven community with warm and cheerful residents.
My name is Duke Lunsford, Centerville City Council, and my wife and I moved here to Centerville in October of 1978. I have a communications background from Ohio University in broadcasting and radio TV. Currently, I'm a regional sales manager for a packaging company out of Charlotte, North Carolina. In 2010, I authored a self-help book and a motivational book, and I also do motivational speaking. When I moved here in Dayton in 1969, I went to Colonel White High School, met my wife. We were high school sweethearts, and we've been married for almost 4 decades now. My wife and I have 2 daughters, Dawn, who lives up in Cleveland with her husband, and they just had their first baby, Ava. And my second daughter, Megan, she lives in Athens, Ohio with her husband, who is a first responder. We just love everything about Centerville. Our daughters graduated from Centerville High School. My wife is a teacher, John Hole Elementary. We've lived here for 41 years. It's just a great place to live and raise children. Well, the reason why my wife and I moved here is because the school systems, and it was just such a growing community. Just want to, keep it going and make it even more special. When we first came here, we saw the signs. It said warm and cheerful, and absolutely it was. Everybody has been so kind and warm, and our neighbors just, when we moved here, just made us feel special.
I'm John Palcher. I was elected to go on council in November 2013. I grew up in Kansas City on the Kansas side. Immediately after I graduated, I went down and joined the Department of the Army. I was in what they call Nike Hurt. They were anti-aircraft missiles. I was a computer operator and radar operator for 3 years. At B Battery, 1st Missile Battalion, 55th Artillery, the northernmost Nike site in the world, way up in the Arctic. I was a corporate director of purchasing and transportation for both Daco Corporation for Goshen Rubber. I got married and married Aurelia Schuster Palcher, and we've been married for 23 and a half years. I have 2 children. My daughter, Jennifer, works for the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. My son, Joe, works for Waltech down in Walton, Kentucky. Well, my hobbies are golf, needless to say, which I'm not a very good golfer. My second passion is University of Dayton Lifelong Learning Institute. I got involved in that program back in 1999, served on the board there for 9 years. So I take classes every term. They have a class offering. What I love about Centerville is just about everything. First of all, I love serving the citizens of Centerville and being in contact with them on a daily basis. I enjoyed following the high school athletics, both basketball, football, and track. Being an Elk fan for many moons now.
I'm Joanne Rao, council member. Been on council since 2014. I'm originally from Akron. My husband of 37 years, Steve, is from Kettering. We moved here in 1986. I have 3 children. They are all graduates of Centerville High School, and the girls, Lynn and Katie, moved on to the Pacific Northwest to pursue their careers. And our son graduated in 2005, and he is in Pennsylvania State College. Went to The Ohio State University, where I got a degree in mechanical engineering, and followed that up a few years later with a master's degree at University of Cincinnati. I'm currently retired. I've been retired for about a year. And prior to retirement, I worked for Dayton Power & Light, and actually their parent company, which is AES. There, my job was environmental compliance. I'm active in 2 nonprofits that I find very rewarding. One of them is Goodwill Easter Seals. I do their radio reading program. And I'm also a court-appointed special advocate for Montgomery County Juvenile Courts. I love the city for a number of reasons, but the one that really comes out at me is it's such a caring community. We have, between the schools and Bill's Donuts and all these groups that raise funds. We have large charitable organizations. We have the foundation. We have so many volunteers in the city.
Happy 4th of July! Thank you for coming out!
I love that it is a great community to raise children between the schools and the park districts and all the different events that are held in the city. It's just a great place to live.
I am Bill Sayre, member of the City Council. We have 3 children, a son who lives in Findlay and a son who lives in Centerville and a daughter who is in Cincinnati. So we raised all 3 children in Centerville schools, and my wife of 38 years is also a graduate of Centerville High School. I had 13 years in a law firm, Smith & Schnocky. I was a shareholder in the firm, and then I had the opportunity to go to work for one of my clients, which then was called Lutheran Social Services. We know it today as GraceWorks Lutheran Services. I was their general counsel and deputy executive director for 7 years, and then became the CEO, a position that I filled for 24 years and just retired earlier this year. I love that Centerville is just a very livable community. We have great neighborhoods, we have great schools, we have great parks, we have great churches. We have great restaurants that are expanding. We love the addition of things like Costco and other. It's just a very livable community. It was a great place to raise children, and now it's a great place to be retired. And I also know that when the need arises, hopefully after another decade or so, we have great retirement community options as well.